sports.
Final segment of the Pete Sousa Show. We are here, and a little bit of a developing news before we let you go today. Earlier in the week, we talked with Matt Mosley, Cowboys beat writer, about the possibility of Deion Sanders being the next head coach of the Dallas Cowboys. It's not quite as crazy as you'd think, simply because Jerry Jones is head over heels in love with Deion, and he's gone on record talking about Deion. And if you missed the first segment of the show, we really talked about the legitimacy that Deion has as a head football coach. He's proven, he can win. Yesterday we talked about Jerry Faust, who went from the high school ranks to coaching Notre Dame and was just overmatched, right? Overwhelmed, really. Great guy. He passed away. That's why we were talking about him. So today we're talking about Deion Sanders, and we're not talking about any kind of jump like that. Again, we think about Deion Sanders as this celebrity, but he's a very good football coach. And Scotty mentioned it, Florida State and Dallas, those two jobs are going to come open in the offseason. And everybody wants to know what Deion is going to say or how he would respond to any kind of overture from the Cowboys. Well, we didn't have to wait long to find out. Joy Taylor, who's one of my favorite, Paul Pierce, and Michael Irvin. Of course, who else? And Keyshawn, too. But who else than Michael Irvin to present this question to Deion Sanders? Scotty, roll the video.
Be better than they really are, besides Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys. Now, I know you focus day to day. I know you're a day-to-day man. But can you think about some days?
Let me take the computer here, because you starting to talk that talk. I got to show you where I am. I love it where I am.
What are you trying to say? What are you trying to say?
I love it where I am. I love it.
You already know you're going with it.
I love it where I am.
Hey, it is beautiful at that time. But it's beautiful in Dallas now. It's beautiful time.
Man, you got unfinished business, man.
Unfinished business.
I love so many things about that. One is the quick wit and his ability to take the air out of the situation and the seriousness of it. That is a magician right there, a public relations and just personality, really, magician that Deion is, but also the relationship he has with Michael Irvin, like the strong relationship that those two have, and that Michael Irvin could ask that question and it's welcomed by Deion. It's not like offensive, and if that was asked by somebody else in the local media, there probably would have been a much different scenario. And that's another thing too I'd mention. Deion's not without his flaws. Some of the stuff he's done in the treatment of the local media has been pretty lame, but he's human. And a lot of times I'm sure he has felt some of the pressure, whether he wants to show it or not. But that's pretty interesting. I'm really looking forward to seeing what will happen, especially what will happen if Colorado can win a playoff game. One other thing, college football note, Baylor getting set to take on West Virginia. That's a huge game. And I'll tell you this. This is not my opinion. This is what's going to happen. Baylor is going to win the football game. And here's why they're going to win the football game. It's in the afternoon. Call me crazy, okay? It's a huge difference, right? The game is going to be played, I think, at 4 Eastern time, which in that area, it'll get dark around, I don't know, in about 2 hours. But we're not talking about that scary environment that Baylor has played in before. Those night games where it's like there was a Thursday night game there, and this is, I think, 2017, Matt Rule's first year, where they got, annihilated. And it was the atmosphere, it was everything. That's a scary place to play, regardless of how well your team is playing, and how experienced you are. Morgantown at like 8 o'clock on a Saturday night is terrifying. Morgantown at 3:30 on a Saturday afternoon is not quite as terrifying. Scotty, what do you got?
I was going to add that it's not just Morgantown at night, because in 2012, very famously, Baylor lost a game in Morgantown 70-63. I think there was one punt in that entire football game, and it was Baylor, and that ended up being the difference. Terrence Williams, I think, had 300 receiving yards. I think Austin, why am I forgetting his name? The real fast receiver for West Virginia that
Austin Eckler?
No, he played for Dallas. Tavon Austin.
Yeah,
I think he had like 300 yards. It was like the craziest thing. That was an 11 a.m. kickoff. So I like that we're not kicking off at night, and I also like, because of history, that we're not kicking off at 11.
I truly believe that could be a possible difference maker. The fact that the game on that show, Inside the 12, which will air tomorrow in all the markets that have Big 12 teams in them, and you can watch it on the Big 12's YouTube channel. I said today we had the guest picker on was a gentleman who is Colorado's play-by-play guy, and Mark Johnson. And we talked about that game, and he said he picked West Virginia. And I said, look, if it was a game at 3 in the afternoon or at 8 at night, I would take West Virginia. It's 3 in the afternoon. That is a much more manageable situation. It just is. And I don't know if it has to do with like the intake of alcohol or what, like the longer day to get lubed up.
I think in Morgantown, they're going to be
they'll be ready to rip it. I'm telling you,
no matter what time it is.
Look, they would get. I'm telling you, that's all I'm saying. All right,
I'm with you. I think what's most interesting about this game is both teams trying to get bowl eligible.
Yeah,
I mean, and both teams, I think, feeling that pressure. Neil Brown's been there for a minute. Like, both teams need to get bowl eligible.
Yeah. All right, I'm going to need you back tomorrow, Scotty.
I'll be here.
All right, and we have a packed show for you tomorrow. Cannot wait. A couple guests, a lot of cool topics. Don't go anywhere. All right, you can go somewhere for the next 23 hours. But we'll see you tomorrow at 1. And, the Pete Sousa Show presented by Slovacics rolls on tomorrow. Have a great rest of the day.
It's the Pete Sousa Show.